Welcome to Hockeywiztalks Podcast. Today I'll be previewing the second round of the NHL playoffs. This is a preview of the second round of the Eastern Conference. The first matchup in the Eastern Conference is between the Boston Bruins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Key forwards for the Boston Bruins: Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, David Pastrnak, David Krejci, Jake DeBrusk, David Backes, and Charlie Coyle. Key defensemen for the Bruins: Charlie McAvoy, Zdeno Chara, Torrey Krug. Key forwards for the Columbus Blue Jackets: Artemi Panarin, Matt Duchene, Cam Atkinson, Ryan Dzingel, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Josh Anderson, Nick Foligno. Key defensemen for the Blue Jackets: Seth Jones, Zach Werenski, David Savard. The goalie matchup is Tuukka Rask versus Sergei Bobrovsky. This will be a matchup between two very similar teams. Both the Boston Bruins and Columbus Blue Jackets are very well-structured teams that play on the edge and have great goaltenders. Coming into the playoffs, the Columbus Blue Jackets were tremendous underdogs, going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who had the best record in the league. But the Blue Jackets were able to defeat the Lightning in a 4-game sweep. The Boston Bruins are coming off a thrilling Game 7 victory against the Toronto Maple Leafs, where the series could have gone either way. Matt Duchene leads the Columbus Blue Jackets in points with 7 points in 4 playoff games, and Artemi Panarin has 5 points in 4 playoff games. Sergei Bobrovsky is 4-0 in the playoffs with a 2.01 GAA and a .932 save percentage. Brad Marchand leads the Boston Bruins in points in the playoffs with 9, and David Pastrnak has 6 points in the playoffs. Tuukka Rask is 4-3 in the playoffs with a 2.32 GAA and a .928 save percentage. I expect these two teams to dislike each other really quick because of the way these two teams play. It will take about half a period to turn into a full-fledged rivalry. Even though the regular season matchups don't really mean anything, it's worth noting that the Boston Bruins had the edge in this series 2-1. However, because Columbus did end up winning one game 7-4, they outscored the Bruins in the regular season 10-8. The Boston Bruins win if they get scoring from players outside of Marchand, Pastrnak, and Bergeron, and Tuukka Rask is great in goal. The Columbus Blue Jackets win if they get scoring from all 4 lines, and Bobrovsky is phenomenal in goal. My prediction is that the Columbus Blue Jackets win 4-2. The next matchup in the Eastern Conference is between the New York Islanders and the Carolina Hurricanes. Key forwards for the New York Islanders: Matt Barzal, Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, Josh Bailey, Jordan Eberle, Casey Cizikas, Kyle Clutterbuck. Key defensemen for the Islanders: Nick Leddy, Devon Toews, and the Ryan Pulock-Adam Pelech pair. Key forwards for the Carolina Hurricanes: Sebastian Aho, Toivo Teravainen, Nino Niederreiter, Jordan Staal, Justin Williams, Andrei Svechnikov. Key defensemen for the Carolina Hurricanes: Dougie Hamilton, Justin Falk, Jacob Slavin, Brett Pesce. The goalie matchup is Robin Lehner versus Peter Mrazek. This is going to be a really interesting series, and I do expect it to be an entertaining one. These are two very hungry teams that look at themselves as underdogs, but so far in the playoffs, it is quite clear that the New York Islanders are no underdogs, as they dominated the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round, holding them to a total of 6 goals in the series in a 4-game sweep. The Carolina Hurricanes are coming off a shocking Game 7 upset of the Washington Capitals. Very few people picked the Carolina Hurricanes to advance, but they proved them wrong. Led by head coach Rod Brind'Amour and captain Justin Williams, the Carolina Hurricanes are a team that doesn't quit. That makes for a tough opponent in any series. The New York Islanders are led in scoring by Jordan Eberle, who has 6 points in the playoffs, and Matt Barzal, who has 5 points in the playoffs. Robin Lehner was spectacular in the first round. He was 4-0 with a 1.47 GAA and a .956 save percentage. The Carolina Hurricanes were led in scoring in the first round by Warren Foegele, who has 6 points, and Jordan Staal, who had 5 points in the playoffs. Peter Mrazek is 4-3 in the playoffs with a 2.54 GAA and a .899 save percentage. It's worth noting that the Islanders are 3-1 against the Hurricanes in the regular season, and the Islanders outscored the Hurricanes 11-6 in the regular season. The New York Islanders win if they continue to play stingy defense, and Robin Lehner is spectacular in goal. Carolina Hurricanes win if they force the Islanders to play from behind, and Peter Mrazek is amazing in goal. My prediction is that the New York Islanders win 4-2. And now, a word from our sponsor. This is a preview of the second round of the Western Conference. The first matchup in the Western Conference is between the St. Louis Blues and Dallas Stars. Key forwards for the St. Louis Blues: Vladimir Tarasenko, Ryan O'Reilly, Braden Shen, Jaden Schwartz, Tyler Bozak, David Perron, Robert Thomas, and Patrick Maroon. Key defensemen for the Blues: Alex Pietrangelo, Vince Dunn, Colton Parayko. Key forwards for the Dallas Stars: Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Alex Radulov, Robe Hintz, Matt Zuccarello, Jason Dickinson. Key defensemen for the Stars: John Klingberg, Miro Heiskanen, and Isla Lindell. The goalie matchup is Jordan Binnington versus Ben Bishop. This is going to be the best series in the second round by far. The Dallas Stars are not a true wild card team. They have the talent to be one of the best teams in the league. The St. Louis Blues are a very well-rounded team that don't have many weaknesses in their lineup. St. Louis has great depth on both offense and defense, as well as a good mix of veteran and young players. In prior years, the biggest issue for the Blues was goaltending. Now that is no longer an issue, as Jordan Binnington played amazing in the first round against the high-flying Winnipeg Jets. The Dallas Stars outplayed the Nashville Predators in the first round, which was a shock to most people, as the Nashville Predators were favorites to win the Stanley Cup. What makes Dallas so deadly now is the emergence of 3 young players in Roope Hintz, Jason Dickinson, and Miro Heiskanen. These 3 players are game changers and could change the outcome of any game. The St. Louis Blues were led in scoring by Alex Pietrangelo, who had 6 points, and Jaden Schwartz, who had 5 points. Jordan Binnington is 4-2 in the playoffs with a 2.63 GAA and a .908 save percentage. Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Alex Radulov, and John Klingberg all have 6 points in the playoffs. Ben Bishop is 4-2 in the playoffs with a 1.90 GAA and .945 save percentage. In the regular season, the Dallas Stars had the edge in this series 3-1, outscoring the Blues 13-7 in the regular season. In 3 of the games, the Blues were held to only 1 goal. The St. Louis Blues win if they get scoring from all 4 lines and Jordan Binnington stands on his head. Dallas Stars win if they continue to play like they did against Nashville and Ben Bishop is good in net. My prediction is that the Dallas Stars win 4-2. The other matchup in the Western Conference is between the San Jose Sharks and the Colorado Avalanche. Key forwards for the San Jose Sharks: Logan Couture, Joe Pavelski, Thomas Hertl, Timo Meier, Evander Kane, Kevin LeBanc, Joe Thornton. Key defensemen for the Sharks: Brett Burns, Erik Karlsson, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, Justin Braun. Key forwards for the Colorado Avalanche: Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, Alex Kerfoot, Colin Wilson, JT Comfort, Carl Soderberg. Key defensemen for the Avalanche: Tyson Barrie, Eric Johnson, Samuel Girard, Cal McCarr. The goalie matchup is Martin Jones versus Philip Grubauer. This is a matchup between 2 very high-scoring teams, so it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made during the course of the series. The San Jose Sharks are coming off an emotional and controversial Game 7 victory against the Vegas Golden Knights, while the Colorado Avalanche upset the Calgary Flames, the team that had the best record in the Western Conference in 5 games. The San Jose Sharks have a slight disadvantage because they played in 2 consecutive overtime games against Vegas, and those games were very physically demanding, especially on players that play a lot like Brent Burns, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and Erik Karlsson. The Colorado Avalanche seem to have struck lightning in a bottle in the series against the Flames, as the Flames had no answer for either MacKinnon or Rantanen. Now that Colorado is playing them on separate lines, it's going to be interesting to see how San Jose matches up. Because of the star players playing on each of these teams, the goaltending does not get enough attention, but make no mistake about it, the goaltending is the key to this matchup. Martin Jones can be 2 different goalies at times. Sometimes he can't stop a beach ball, and sometimes he can't be beaten. Philip Grubauer is perhaps the hottest goalie in the league right now, which is why Colorado has been so good in the last month. The San Jose Sharks are led in scoring by Erik Karlsson, who had 9 points in the playoffs, as well as Logan Couture and Thomas Hertl, who both have 8 points in the playoffs. Martin Jones is 4-2 in the playoffs with a 3.20 GAA and a .904 save percentage. Colorado Avalanche were led in scoring by Mikko Rantanen, who had 9 points, and Nathan MacKinnon, who had 8 points. Philip Grubauer has been tremendous in the playoffs so far. He is 4-1 with a 1.90 GAA and a .939 save percentage. Just putting it out there that in the regular season, the Sharks were 3-0 against the Avalanche, outscoring the Avalanche 14-9. The San Jose Sharks win if they can slow down MacKinnon and Rantanen and get scoring from their top 6. Colorado Avalanche win if Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen dominate, and Philip Grubauer is phenomenal in goal. My prediction is that the Colorado Avalanche win 4-2. In my next podcast, I update you on the second round of the NHL playoffs.